Have you ever wondered if the wisdom you've gained over the years is enough to keep you safe from the dangers of deception, especially as you grow older? As we age, the confidence we've built over decades can sometimes become our biggest vulnerability. We trust more easily, believing we've seen it all. But are we truly as sharp as we think we are? And what about the loneliness that can creep in as we age? Could our attempts to fill that void be causing more harm than good? Stick around, because today we're diving deep into some of the most dangerous mistakes men often make as they grow older, and how these missteps can lead to devastating consequences, both emotionally and financially. Why you need to watch until the end. The first mistake we'll explore is the dangerous habit of blindly trusting those around you. It might seem like wisdom, but age and experience can sometimes cloud our judgment, making us more vulnerable to those who don't have our best interests at heart. Trust is a gift, and it should never be given lightly, especially as we get older. Then, we'll tackle the destructive pattern of isolating yourself as you age. The truth is, loneliness isn't just a passing phase. It can be a silent destroyer of mental, emotional, and physical health. It's easy to think you're doing just fine, but isolation can leave lasting effects. And in this video, we'll discuss how staying connected is more vital than ever. We'll also explore why seeking relationships with much younger individuals might seem like an escape, but often brings more frustration and confusion than fulfillment. Age gaps in relationships can create an imbalance of power, leaving you feeling emotionally depleted and disconnected from your true self. Finally, we'll look at two health-related mistakes: neglecting your own health and abusing medications to maintain sexual performance. Both are issues that, if left unchecked, can have life-altering consequences. Your health should be a priority, especially in your later years. By the end of this video, you'll have a clearer understanding of how to navigate these challenges, protecting not only your physical well-being but your emotional peace and financial security. Don't miss out on these important insights. Stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I encourage you to click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay updated on all our latest content. I'm eager to hear your thoughts on today's topic. If you enjoy the content, please comment 1 below. If it doesn't resonate with you, leave a 0. Your feedback is crucial as it helps me create better videos that align with your interests. Now, let's get started. The first, and perhaps the most dangerous, mistake many people make as they grow older is blindly trusting everyone around them. In the later years of life, experience becomes one of the most invaluable treasures. Over the decades, individuals gather wisdom, built through countless lessons learned, both from triumphs and heartbreaking failures. It's a wealth of understanding about the world and its people, accumulated through years of living and observing. With this wisdom, it's only natural to believe we've earned the right to trust our judgment, that we've seen enough of the world to be able to discern who is worthy of our trust and who isn't. This accumulated confidence, while grounded in experience, can also become a dangerous trap, a shield that can mask the painful truth of growing older. While our wisdom sharpens our perception, it doesn't necessarily make us immune to the vulnerability that accompanies age. As we age, we become more certain of our ability to assess people and situations, believing that the knowledge we've gained over the years is sufficient to protect us from being deceived. However, this sense of certainty can create a false sense of security, causing us to let our guard down and place trust in people who, in truth, do not deserve it. This is especially true when the vulnerability of old age magnifies the risks involved. What many fail to realize is that as the body weakens and emotional resilience begins to fade, the ability to discern the true character of those around us can also become clouded by the very trust we have in ourselves and the years we've lived. We begin to see the world through a lens of kindness, believing that everyone has good intentions because, for most of our lives, we've been taught to trust and to give others the benefit of the doubt. However, the stark and painful reality is that not everyone in the world shares the same genuine kindness, nor does everyone operate from a place of integrity. Some people, sadly, see the vulnerability of the elderly as an opportunity to manipulate and take advantage. The trust that comes with age, often the product of a lifetime of experiences, struggles, and victories, can be exploited by those with malicious intent. These individuals view the open-heartedness of the elderly as a weakness to be leveraged for personal gain, whether financial or emotional. The sad truth is that there are predators in the world who have no qualms about preying upon the vulnerable, especially when they sense that someone's guard is down, and their judgment is clouded by the desire to trust and connect. Blindly trusting others, particularly at an age where the need for care, companionship, and security may feel more pressing, is a mistake that can have devastating consequences. As our bodies age and our circumstances shift, we may find ourselves relying more heavily on the people around us for emotional support, financial security, or even physical care. We want to believe that those closest to us, our families, longtime friends, and even new acquaintances, are trustworthy, that they have our best interests at heart. However, this blind trust can open the door to exploitation and deceit in ways that are both heartbreaking and financially ruinous. The harsh reality is that many elderly people are targeted by unscrupulous individuals who use the elderly's trust and vulnerability as an avenue to exploit them. The forms of abuse that can result from this misplaced trust are varied and insidious, but among the most damaging is financial exploitation. Over the years, many elderly individuals have worked tirelessly to accumulate savings, often sacrificing luxuries and comforts in order to ensure their financial stability for later in life. Unfortunately, this hard-earned wealth can become a target for those who seek to take advantage of it. Financial fraud, whether in the form of fraudulent investments, fake loans, or even the manipulation of bank accounts, has become an all-too-common occurrence for older individuals. Dishonest strangers, and even members of one's own family, may exploit the elderly's goodwill, draining their savings under the guise of assistance, or even simply stealing from them outright. The emotional toll of these betrayals cannot be overstated. When trust is violated, it isn't just the financial losses that leave a mark. The profound sense of violation that comes with discovering that someone you trusted has taken advantage of you is a blow to the soul. It can leave an elderly individual feeling not only financially ruined but emotionally shattered, stripped of the safety and security they had hoped to find in their later years. And while financial recovery is sometimes possible, emotional recovery from such a betrayal can be much more difficult. The damage to one's sense of self-worth, security, and trust in others can take years to heal, if it ever truly does. This devastating reality underscores the importance of being vigilant, cautious, and discerning when it comes to whom we trust, especially as we age. While experience may provide us with wisdom, it's essential not to let that wisdom cloud our judgment or blind us to the possibility of betrayal. As the years pass, the need for connection and companionship may feel more urgent, but we must always remember that trust, like all things, must be earned. The willingness to trust is a gift that should not be given lightly, especially in a world where exploitation of the vulnerable is all too common. We must protect ourselves, not only from the physical dangers of aging but from the emotional and financial dangers that can arise from misplaced trust. The second, and equally dangerous, mistake many men make as they age is isolating themselves from social interaction. As the years go by, a troubling belief starts to take root, that loneliness is an unavoidable part of old age, and that isolation is simply the price one must pay for the passing of time. This way of thinking is not only misguided, but it can also be profoundly harmful, with consequences that reverberate through every aspect of a person's life. The truth is that isolation, while it may seem like a natural progression as one grows older, is a silent destroyer of well-being, one that can have devastating effects on mental, emotional, and even physical health. As the years accumulate, social circles inevitably begin to shrink. Retirement, the death of close friends, or distance from family members often creates a sense of solitude that can quickly become overwhelming. At first, these moments of quiet might seem like a peaceful respite, but over time, they can deepen into a profound sense of emptiness. The man may find himself increasingly alone, without the familiar laughter of friends or the warmth of daily interactions that once brought joy. What begins as a small and perhaps unnoticed shift can soon spiral into a dangerous isolation, one that feeds feelings of loneliness and sadness, gradually eroding self-worth and emotional resilience. It can lead to depression, hopelessness, and, ultimately, a sense of being disconnected from the world around you. In some cases, Isolation can even contribute to physical health problems, as the mind and body become more vulnerable in the absence of social engagement. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. The reality is that social interaction, at any stage of life, is not just a luxury or a casual pastime. It is essential for well-being. Humans are inherently social beings. Our brains, hearts, and spirits thrive on connection. It is not just about having people around you. It is about the active exchange of ideas, affection, and the small but vital challenges that come with regular interaction. When we engage with others, whether it's through a simple conversation or shared activity, we keep our minds sharp and our spirits nourished. Without these daily interactions, our cognitive abilities can begin to decline more rapidly, and physical health risks such as heart disease, high blood pressure, and weakened immune systems increase significantly. The absence of social connection does not just affect the emotions, it affects the body itself. More than the physical and cognitive impacts, isolation robs older individuals of their most important lifeline, support. As one distances themselves from others, they lose the safety net that can provide both practical help and emotional relief. When the time comes for assistance, whether it's a shoulder to lean on during an emotional crisis or a helping hand with daily tasks, those who have withdrawn from social circles often find themselves without the support they need. This lack of connection can be crippling, particularly when facing challenges such as illness or financial strain. Without a network of friends, family, or even acquaintances, there is no one to turn to for guidance or help. On the other hand, maintaining and fostering a sense of community in later life provides immeasurable benefits. When we stay connected with others, whether through family, friends, or social groups, we are not only able to offer and receive help, but we are also reminded that we are not alone. Living in community gives us a renewed sense of purpose, a reason to stay engaged in life, and an opportunity to contribute to something larger than ourselves. Social bonds remind us that we matter, that our thoughts and actions have weight, and that we still have a place in the world. These connections reignite our sense of belonging, offering us joy and fulfillment, even in the face of challenges. The danger of isolation is far-reaching, not just in the moment, but in the long-term consequences it carries. The simple act of staying connected with others, whether through friendships, family, or community activities, can be a powerful antidote to the sense of loss and loneliness that can come with aging. It can help preserve mental clarity, emotional well-being, and physical health, and it can remind us all that the human need for connection doesn't diminish with age. It only becomes more vital. So, it is essential to fight the temptation of withdrawing, to stay active in relationships, and to never underestimate the life-sustaining power of social interaction. The third, and often deeply misguided, mistake many men make as they grow older is seeking relationships with much younger individuals. As the years pass, some men feel the weight of aging bearing down on them and look for ways to recapture the vitality, energy, and sense of youth they once enjoyed. In an attempt to hold on to the excitement of youth, they may turn to relationships with individuals significantly younger, hoping that these connections will provide a sense of rejuvenation or restore a feeling of vigor and passion. While this pursuit may initially seem like a way to stay relevant or connected to a time in life they believe is slipping away, it often ends up being fraught with emotional, social, and psychological complications that are far more damaging than they realize. On the surface, relationships with a significant age gap may seem thrilling. The allure of new experiences, the excitement of discovering the world through a younger person's eyes, and the initial rush of attention can provide a temporary sense of rebirth. It's easy to believe that such a relationship will keep them young at heart, providing a renewed sense of purpose and energy. Yet, this illusion of a second youth is often just that, an illusion. While these relationships may be thrilling in the beginning, they are frequently built on unstable foundations, with vast differences in interests, life values, and perspectives that only become more apparent over time. What might initially feel like a spark of passion can quickly give way to frustration, confusion, and, ultimately, a deep sense of disconnection. Over time, the differences between partners, whether in lifestyle, goals, or simply the way they view the world, tend to create a widening chasm that becomes harder and harder to bridge. The older partner may find it increasingly difficult to relate to the younger individual's outlook on life, their ambitions, and even their day-to-day habits. What was once exciting and fresh can quickly become a source of tension, misunderstandings, and miscommunication. These relationships, in many cases, become a battleground of unmet expectations, where the older partner struggles to keep up with the pace and energy of someone much younger, while the younger individual may grow frustrated with the perceived limitations of their older counterpart. The initial spark fades, replaced by a lingering sense of dissatisfaction, leaving both individuals feeling emotionally unfulfilled and disconnected. Moreover, there is often an imbalance of power in relationships with such a large age gap. The older man may feel compelled to constantly adjust to the desires and expectations of the younger person, in an attempt to keep the relationship alive or feel valued. This dynamic can lead to feelings of inadequacy, insecurity, and emotional exhaustion, as the older partner finds himself in a constant state of self-doubt, wondering if he is doing enough to keep the younger person interested or satisfied. Instead of providing the emotional renewal or youthful vigor that was originally sought, these relationships may, in fact, intensify feelings of aging, loss, and loneliness. The more the older man tries to mold himself into someone he's not, the more disconnected he may feel from his own identity, leading to a growing sense of emotional depletion. The power imbalance can also foster unhealthy dependencies. The older individual might find themselves offering emotional support or even financial assistance, while the younger person may struggle to provide the same level of maturity or stability in return. This uneven exchange of energy can lead to resentment or a feeling of exploitation, which can erode the emotional foundation of the relationship. Instead of a partnership based on mutual respect and understanding, the dynamic may become one-sided, where one person feels like they are giving more than they are receiving, both emotionally and physically. In many ways, these relationships can set both individuals up for disappointment. The older man, in his pursuit of vitality and connection, may find himself feeling more isolated, misunderstood, and emotionally drained than he did before. The younger individual, who may initially have been drawn to the relationship for the excitement or novelty it provides, may eventually feel trapped in a situation where they are unable to fully connect with someone whose experiences and perspectives are vastly different from their own. What was once an exciting escape from the realities of aging can turn into a painful reminder of those very realities, leaving both parties feeling disillusioned and emotionally unfulfilled. Ultimately, relationships with large age gaps are often unsustainable, and rather than offering the sense of renewal or vitality that the older man seeks, they may simply serve to deepen the emotional void that comes with the passage of time. It's crucial to recognize that true emotional connection and fulfillment don't come from chasing the illusion of youth, but from nurturing relationships that are based on mutual respect, understanding, and shared life experiences. Age is a natural part of the human journey, and seeking validation through relationships with younger individuals may only perpetuate the very sense of insecurity and longing that one hopes to escape. Instead of trying to hold on to a fleeting sense of youth, the focus should be on creating authentic, meaningful relationships that honor both one's age and the richness of the experiences that come with it. The fourth mistake many men make as they age is neglecting their own health. As the years roll on, some men fall into the dangerous trap of believing that healthcare is no longer a priority, or worse, that the health problems that arise are simply inevitable parts of growing older. This kind of complacency, often born out of a sense of resignation, can have devastating consequences. Health issues that could have been easily addressed or managed in their early stages can quickly transform into chronic, debilitating conditions, or even life-threatening problems, when ignored. With each passing year, the body naturally demands more attention and care, yet many elderly men continue to skip regular medical exams, avoid necessary checkups, and ignore the subtle warning signs their bodies send out. This neglect of self-care often stems from a false sense of invulnerability. After all, these men have already made it through so many years of life without major issues, so they convince themselves that nothing can possibly go wrong now. They may believe that health problems are simply part of the aging process, and that there's no point in seeking medical advice or intervention. Unfortunately, this mindset is a dangerous one. It is easy to assume that everything is fine simply because nothing feels terribly wrong in the moment. However, as age advances, the body becomes more vulnerable to a host of conditions, many of which can be prevented or managed with early detection and proper medical attention. The truth is that health in old age isn't about passively resigning to the idea of inevitable decline. It's about adopting a proactive, thoughtful approach to well-being. Regular checkups, staying on top of recommended screenings, and taking note of subtle changes in physical or mental health can make all the difference in preventing serious conditions from worsening. For example, cardiovascular problems, diabetes, hypertension, and even cancer all benefit greatly from preventive care. If caught early, many of these conditions can be treated effectively, potentially saving lives and improving quality of life. Ignoring or dismissing these signs is a gamble that many elderly individuals can't afford to take. Just as it is important to take care of the body physically, mental health also deserves equal attention. Aging often brings with it feelings of isolation, stress, and sometimes depression, which can exacerbate physical ailments. Neglecting mental health can have a direct impact on physical health, as the two are inextricably linked. Regular exercise, maintaining a healthy diet, getting enough sleep, and seeking mental health support when necessary are all crucial components of an effective health regimen as one ages. The fifth mistake, closely related to health, is abusing medications in an attempt to maintain sexual relations. In an effort to preserve their sexual vitality and feel youthful again, many older men turn to medications that promise to improve performance. These medications, often used without proper medical guidance, and sometimes taken in doses far higher than recommended, may appear to offer a quick and effective solution to the natural changes that come with aging. But what might seem like a harmless fix can actually lead to a cascade of dangerous health consequences. As the years go by, it is entirely natural for the body to undergo changes that affect libido and sexual performance. It's a normal part of life, one that doesn't need to be feared or hidden. However, many men find it difficult to accept these changes, feeling the pressure to maintain a level of sexual performance that mirrors their younger years. To cope with this pressure, some turn to performance-enhancing medications as a way to prove to themselves, and to others, that they can still keep up. This desperation to maintain youthful vitality can lead to serious and sometimes irreversible damage. If you are still watching this video, and find these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. The indiscriminate use of these drugs can wreak havoc on the body. In particular, men with pre-existing health conditions such as hypertension, heart disease, or diabetes are at a much higher risk of experiencing severe cardiovascular events, such as heart attacks or strokes, when using performance-enhancing medications inappropriately. These drugs can increase the strain on the heart and exacerbate underlying conditions, leading to life-threatening complications. Additionally, the overuse of performance-enhancing medications can result in psychological dependence. The man may begin to believe that he is incapable of having sexual relations without the aid of these drugs, causing a dramatic decline in self-esteem and confidence. The idea of intimacy, once natural and spontaneous, becomes tied to a chemical solution, stripping away any sense of genuine connection and intimacy. In some cases, this dependence can even lead to an emotional void, where the focus becomes solely on performance rather than on the relational and emotional aspects of sexuality. Another concerning aspect is the rising issue of acquiring these medications from unreliable sources, often without a prescription. This not only increases the risk of dangerous side effects, but also leaves the man vulnerable to the consequences of using counterfeit or poorly regulated drugs. Self-medication in this way is a form of playing with fire, as the person is effectively taking their health into their own hands without the necessary oversight of a medical professional. By bypassing proper channels, the true underlying causes of sexual dysfunction may go unidentified and untreated, leaving the individual to mask a deeper issue rather than addressing it head-on. Instead of resorting to excessive medication, the focus should be on understanding the natural course of aging and seeking balanced solutions. A holistic approach to sexual health includes communication with a partner, counseling, and possible medical alternatives that are safer and more sustainable in the long term. Seeking medical advice, undergoing thorough assessments, and being open to alternative treatments can help men navigate the changes in their sexual health in a way that respects their body's natural rhythm. Aging doesn't have to mean a loss of vitality or intimacy. But abusing medications in an attempt to halt the natural progression of time only leads to more harm than good. Ultimately, both neglecting health and abusing medications are short-sighted solutions to the challenges that come with aging. Taking a proactive, thoughtful approach to one's well-being, physically, mentally, and emotionally, can help preserve not only the quality of life, but also the sense of dignity and self-respect that is so crucial to living a fulfilling life in later years. The sixth mistake that many men make as they grow older is believing that the opinions of others define their worth. Over time, it becomes all too easy to slip into the habit of living to please others, constantly worrying about what society, family, or friends think about your choices, appearance, lifestyle, or even the way you spend your time. This relentless preoccupation with external judgment may seem harmless at first, even a natural part of human interaction. However, in reality, it can gradually chip away at one's sense of self-esteem, undermine personal freedom, and prevent a man from fully embracing his authentic self. As the years go by, this preoccupation with others' opinions becomes even more dangerous, especially in a society that places such high value on youth, physical appearance, and societal approval. In such a culture, where the ideals of beauty, success, and vitality are often tied to youthfulness and outward appearance, it's easy for an older man to feel a growing sense of pressure. This pressure isn't just about meeting physical standards, it's also about adhering to outdated societal norms, expectations, and conventions that may no longer align with who he truly is or what he desires. The external world often places unrealistic expectations on what it means to age gracefully, how to behave, what to wear, and how to act. In response, many men begin to feel compelled to conform to these expectations, even if doing so forces them to suppress their true desires, values, and dreams. This behavior, though seemingly harmless or even benign, can be deeply limiting. It becomes a silent prison, locking away the individual's unique identity and robbing him of the joy that comes from simply being himself. Whether it's trying to dress in ways that align with what is seen as appropriate for his age, adhering to old-fashioned norms that no longer serve him, or denying his own aspirations or desires for fear of ridicule, the constant search for approval can stifle growth, creativity, and personal fulfillment. When a man starts measuring his self-worth based on how others perceive him, he opens himself up to a life of self-doubt and frustration, forever chasing an illusion of perfection that does not exist. This mistake becomes even more evident when a man starts making choices not based on his own well-being, happiness, or inner guidance, but out of fear of being judged, criticized, or ridiculed. The fear of what others might say can cloud judgment, leading to missed opportunities for growth and happiness. For example, how many older men have abandoned long-held dreams, whether that's traveling the world, starting a new career, taking up a new hobby, or even embarking on a new relationship, simply because they were too concerned with what others might think? How many men have avoided exploring new possibilities because they feared being seen as foolish, selfish, or out of touch? This fear of judgment keeps them tethered to the expectations of others, preventing them from pursuing what truly brings joy and meaning into their lives. Over time, this fear becomes a self-imposed limitation, a mental barrier that keeps them from experiencing the fullness of life. In fact, living for the approval of others is not only a waste of time, it's a surefire path to frustration, regret, and unfulfilled potential. No matter how hard one tries, it's impossible to please everyone. There will always be critics, naysayers, and those who don't understand or support the choices you make. The more a person tries to gain approval from others, the more they lose touch with who they truly are. The real danger lies in the fact that, in the process of seeking external validation, a man may sacrifice his personal values, dreams, and even his happiness just to avoid conflict or disappointment. Over time, the constant need for approval becomes a toxic cycle, one that feeds insecurity and stifles growth. Instead of spending life chasing external validation, it's important to recognize that living authentically is the key to genuine happiness and fulfillment. The truth is, living for the approval of others is a life half-lived, because it's based on the opinions of those who don't walk in your shoes, who don't understand your unique experiences, your desires, and your dreams. The truth that must be embraced is that the only opinion that truly matters is your own. Your worth is not defined by how others see you or by whether or not you meet their expectations. As men age, they often become more attuned to their own inner wisdom, and this is the perfect time to trust that wisdom and begin to make decisions based on personal values and desires, rather than on the need to please others. Instead of seeking approval from society or loved ones, the focus should shift to self-acceptance and self-respect. This shift is not about ignoring the needs of others or being selfish, but rather about ensuring that your own happiness and peace of mind are not compromised by the expectations of the world around you. Aging offers the opportunity to embrace your true self and to live in alignment with your deepest values, desires, and passions. When a man frees himself from the need to constantly seek external validation, he opens himself up to a life of true fulfillment and freedom. He becomes empowered to make choices that reflect who he truly is, without fear of judgment or condemnation. He can embrace his individuality, pursue passions that bring him joy, and forge meaningful connections based on authenticity and mutual respect, rather than on societal expectations. In doing so, he not only finds peace within himself, but also sets an example for others to do the same. In the end, the path to happiness and fulfillment in old age lies not in trying to conform to the expectations of others, but in embracing who you truly are and living authentically. The opinions of others should not have the power to dictate your life. Instead, live according to your own truth, and in doing so, you will experience a life filled with peace, purpose, and self-respect. By letting go of the need to please others, you allow yourself to live the fullest and most rewarding life imaginable, one that is rich with meaning, joy, and personal satisfaction. The seventh mistake that many men make in old age is engaging in sexual relations without carefully considering the emotional, physical, and even social consequences of such behavior. As the years go by, it's natural for many men to seek to maintain or reclaim their sexual vitality, striving to hold on to the sense of youth and vitality that sexual experiences often bring. However, acting impulsively, without discretion or forethought, can lead to a series of complications that affect not only physical health but also emotional well-being and social dynamics. In their desire for intimacy or affirmation, many men may overlook the importance of choosing partners carefully, neglecting to assess their compatibility, intentions, and the broader impact of these relationships. Contrary to the belief that age somehow mitigates the significance of sexual choices, the truth is that advanced age does not make the consequences of sexual decisions any less important. In fact, it can deepen their impact. Physical health becomes even more vulnerable as we age, and the risk of contracting sexually transmitted diseases, STDs, remains a serious concern, regardless of how old we are. This is a critical point that many overlook, assuming that STDs are problems relegated to the young. But this misunderstanding can lead to neglecting to use proper protection and exposing oneself to unnecessary risks. The consequences of unprotected sexual activity, whether it's the transmission of diseases or emotional damage from unconsidered relationships, are just as real and, in some cases, even more severe as we grow older. The physical repercussions are not the only consideration. Emotional and psychological effects can be just as profound. Sexual encounters, especially those with little emotional connection or compatibility, can lead to feelings of emptiness, regret, and even emotional distress. Men may feel an initial sense of vitality, but this can quickly turn into loneliness, confusion, or frustration when the relationship lacks depth and mutual understanding. Furthermore, acting without regard for the emotional consequences can undermine a man's sense of self-respect and dignity, leading to feelings of insecurity or vulnerability. Socially, the repercussions of such impulsive choices can be even more damaging. Relationships are at the core of the human experience, and unthinking sexual choices can complicate relationships with family, friends, and even one's social circle. For older men, navigating social interactions can be challenging enough without the added complexities of questionable sexual decisions that may lead to gossip, judgment, or fractured connections with those who matter most. The impact of one's actions ripples outward, affecting not only personal relationships but also one's broader social reputation and sense of belonging. As we age, it's crucial to recognize that life is still full of unique challenges and opportunities. These challenges should not be approached with haste or recklessness, but with awareness, maturity, and foresight. Avoiding these 7 common mistakes isn't just about sidestepping potential pitfalls. It's about aging with intention, discernment, and a clear vision of what truly matters. Every decision made in the later years carries weight, and each choice we make contributes to the quality and meaning of the life we lead. By being mindful of our actions and their consequences, we can ensure that our later years are filled with fulfillment, well-being, and the kind of vitality that goes beyond mere physical health. If you found this content useful and want to continue learning about how to live better at every stage of life, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video. Your participation is crucial for us to keep bringing important reflections and valuable tips that can truly enrich your life. Let's continue this journey together, exploring the path of growth, wisdom, and meaningful living. Your choices now can shape the life you live tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. We've covered some powerful insights today on emotional resilience, sibling dynamics, the importance of self-control, and how to foster healthier relationships in our later years. So, what stood out to you? What have you learned today that you can bring into your own life moving forward? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment, like, share, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insightful content just like this. Until next time, take care and keep fostering those meaningful connections in your life.